So last week I spoke a bit about, well, I was trying to address the youth or the younger ones or people who are younger than I am at this point. Basically, I was focusing about how there's repercussions for us not honoring either the parents or the elderly within society. Conclusion is that so that it may go well for you in the land that the Lord has given you. So societal impacts are very much directly related to the way the youth relate to the wise ones of society, usually the parents or the elderly. In this particular one, I wanted to draw something different, and I wanted to talk about wisdom or acquiring wisdom, even as the youthful ones or the young ones. Now, there's a few characters in the Bible that stood out in their generations, and I wanted to highlight that it's possible for you to be that particular individual that seems to shine far above all the other people. So you've got Job, who was called the greatest in all the East. So this man stood tall above everybody else. And one of the things that you see highlighted in the book of Job itself is the fact that Job would meet with his men at the city gates. The city gates was a place where all the elites, all the men of repute, all the men of wisdom met and discussed things. It was where men met together to resolve, to discuss. And Job, as in the text, it describes him as when he got to that place, everybody would stop quiet and listen to the wisdom of Job. So this man was wise. So this is one of the guys who stood out. Another one was Enoch. The Bible said this guy was so close to God that God thought to himself, hang about, I'm taking this one for myself. The Bible says he was no more, for God took him. A man who stands out in his generation. Or even Noah, described, like I've just said, a man who stood out. So I've mentioned these men just as examples and saying that you potentially could be that person who stands out in your generation to God. As this is addressed to the youthful or the younger ones, at least people who are younger than I am, I wanted to show you individuals in the scriptures as well who displayed the desire for wisdom. And the first one is Solomon himself. King Solomon, one who was known for his wisdom. The scholars tell us that Solomon came to the throne or rose to the throne either as a very young person. Some have even suggested as young as 20 years old. And we know from the book of Chronicles that when he was ascending to the throne, David described him as young and inexperienced. And whatever way you look at it, Solomon was very youthful when he became king of Israel. And his first desire was for wisdom. When asked by God, what can I do for you? He said, give me a discerning heart or give me wisdom. And all I'm trying to say is that even at that tender age of 20, this young man sought out wisdom. And that's only one guy who stood out. And through the life of Solomon, you can see him build and become wiser. Read through the book of Ecclesiastes and how this man begins to experiment with life and make deductions that would make him wiser and wiser. So wisdom is an acquired thing. It's acquired by associating with the wise. It's acquired by experience. So you learn a lesson through things that you go through. And it's also acquired by seeking understanding. The Bible says this, wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom is the main thing. Wisdom is what separates the boys from the men. So in all you're getting, get understanding. So that's wisdom. So I've spoken about Solomon, young, but one who sought wisdom. Another example is Joseph in the Bible. We know that by the time he rose to be the second in charge of Egypt, which happens to be the largest economy of that time, he was 30. And this is one man who displays wisdom and temperance and all the good stuff through his life. This is a man of great integrity. At 30, he rose to be that great leader, a wise, youthful man. Let's talk about Daniel and his three mates. The Bible tells us in the first chapter of Daniel that he was 10 times smarter than his peers. These are youthful young men who were wiser than their age. And all I'm saying is that even at your young age, you can seek wisdom, you can walk in wisdom, you can display wisdom. So I repeat this, wisdom is the principal thing. In all you're getting, get understanding. Wisdom separates the boys from the men. Anyway, God bless you, and I'll talk to you soon.